Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another episode of The Round Up. What's up? I got my buddies here, Tamra, Rissa, Levi. We all in the house. What's up, y'all?
Hey guys,
Hey
what's up?
everybody.
Hey, what to do?
Good, 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 everybody. We in the house. We ready to talk to you guys today, and we're excited about this topic. We've been going around trying to think of some stuff to talk to you guys about, and one of the subjects that came up, we want to talk to you guys about colorism. Colorism, right?
Yeah,
What
we
what
want to
is
talk about it.
what what anybody want to talk about what colorism means to you specifically? Anybody want to say anything on that? I'll ask Levi. What does colorism mean to you, Levi?
It means when there's another sect of black folks or African Americans that look down upon or judge another color of an African American, basically. So, of
Oh,
course, I'm light skinned. And there are certain people on this screen right now that have vendettas with light skinned folk. So, audience, we're going to get down to the bottom of it and we're going to see what their problem is. And for my light skinned folk out there, team light skin all the way, baby. All the way.
does anyone who might be this Levi might be talking to want to respond to this?
Uh, okay, first of all, I have a vendetta against light skinned people. I'm albino, okay? I'm as light as they come. So, but my thing is, I don't like when people feel that the lightness of their skin is better than others.
Thank you.
It automatically means um they are more beautiful when that's definitely not true.
More accepted.
Right. Or they feel like they're not going to be subject to certain violences because they're light skinned.
Oh,
So, because I mean, that's the thing, So, or either subject to violence or certain prejudices, like, oh, just because they're light skinned, I don't have to worry about police brutality. No, no, no. I don't like that.
Have you
But
heard
I
people
love
say
all of us, all of our pretty colors.
I've heard people say that.
Yes.
I've heard light skinned people say that. Yes.
Yes, I have.
wow, I actually have never well, I'm not that social, so probably that's probably why I've never heard that before. Y'all know I'll be in my own little bubble a lot of times, but um that's interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't say, I have a lot of friends from all different shades, all different colors, whatever. Personally, for me, I've never really paid that too much of mind, regardless of who it's been um affecting. I'm kind of some people will say I'm brown skinned. I don't think I'm dark skinned. I don't think I'm light skinned. I'm just
You're
in
brown. No,
between,
you are
right?
brown skin. I think
I'm
you're
in
brown skin.
between. So
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, within the our race, I don't think people really have looked down or up to me. I'm just here. You know what I'm saying? But I can say
The middle
I
people
do.
never get talked about.
We don't. We have some. I have some darker friends. And I have some lighter friends. But I mean, I joke on everybody's complexion. So I mean, I don't look down on nobody. I just joke
Yeah,
like,
I was called brand muffin. So
And I was also
Oh,
called
damn.
white chocolate chip macadamia.
Oh, please. I used to be called Red Apple. Okay. Red Apple was my nickname.
oh my god.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I get it. I get it.
I mean,
Go
I
ahead.
think what Marissa said is very true. I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of like how media perceives lighter tones and things of that nature. Of course,
Yeah.
like we see throughout not just like African American culture, right? We see throughout like Asian culture and different things like
Right,
that.
right,
Like
right.
the lighter you
Like,
are, or like the paler you are, the supposedly the more beautiful you are, and
Yeah.
that's
right.
just a lie that has been you know done throughout history and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Don't y'all think that's changing though now?
I
Like
think
melanin is in now. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
that's why a lot
Yeah.
of time white people get tan because they know pale is not. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, 100%.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, don't y'all feel like that curve
I
is,
don't
is
feel
like
like I feel like
shifting?
mainstream media is trying to shift it, but I feel like as a whole, populations aren't as they're well, I would say they're a little bit more accepting than what they were, but I know like the generations that were before our generation and maybe even some in our generation are still a little bit like, they don't want you to deal with this person or deal with that person because they might bring down your overall outlook, not your outlook,
Right.
but how people look at you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, so like I have a lot of friends in the Hispanic or Latin American community, or Latino community. I don't know what the PC term is because I've heard some people say that the Hispanic is bad, so I don't know. But I've heard them say, even in that community, especially like with Afro Latinos and Afro Latinas,
Yeah.
how they're
Yeah.
really looked down upon in the Latin community. And to me, a lot of times, honestly, to be honest with you, I didn't realize there were so many Afro Latinos, because
yeah.
Most of South America is black
Afro-Latina.
folks.
Yeah.
no, but that's what I'm saying. But like, when you look at the media, when you look at a lot of stuff that's on TV, you wouldn't even associate
Yeah,
black
because
people.
media doesn't exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
But
No,
the-
because they
black
usually use, and I know this may not be the PC word, but that's what it's, that's what you fill out on your documents. They use white Hispanics.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you wouldn't even tell, you wouldn't even know that they were unless they said something about it.
That's
Yeah.
very true.
So
That's very true. And that's part of the reason too, like when we were talking about in one of the other episodes, when it said the white population was so high, because a lot of Hispanic people put white on there. And a lot of them are, a lot of Cuban Americans are really light skinned, really, they are white, but they're Hispanic as well. So, I get it. And like, even like you wouldn't call like someone from Spain or their family lineage is from Spain. I would assume that they would go white Latino too. And they're pretty white looking. So, I don't know. As far as it being bad, as you saying it's changing, Tamara, I feel like I guess it is changing, so
I feel
changing
like
for the better.
right. Yeah, I feel like 2020 has opened that up a lot, even though the Black movement has been going on for a long time because of the injustice that we've been seeing so much. Like I feel like 2020 we hit a curve when it came to our culture and us being accepted and like really forcefully putting ourselves out there as far as like brown skin, dark skin. That's now, to me, I feel like that's now being accepted. You know what I mean? Like you look on these commercials now, you see a lot of these dark skinned women with natural hair.
That's very true.
You don't see the mix like that anymore. You're seeing more darker skin, brown skin women, Black women with natural
with
hair.
their hair,
what I
yeah.
mean? So
Right. That's
I
true.
feel like we are taking a turn.
Yeah, it's definitely turning, and that's a good thing. It is.
Yeah.
Because they need representation too. Representation matters. Like I knew a girl who was dark skinned and she purposely did not date Black guys because she felt that she's experienced to men telling her that she wasn't as desirable because she was dark skinned.
That's
so and she was open to dating, of course, Black men, but she was just like, I just don't understand why they would shun me because I can't control what my skin tone is,
Right.
And
do you feel like men or women of any race, which gender you think suffers from that mostly, like men or women from any race?
Women, most definitely.
Hands down. Mm-hmm. I know, yeah, hands down.
Because we're the prey.
Mm-hmm.
True.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's what men. It's a man's world, whatever. But it's what men desire, and a lot of it, what media puts out is fair skin. That's what. Like I said, I feel like it's changing, but let's face it. For many years, fair skin, even in the rap videos. What did you see? You didn't see dark skinned women.
You sure you didn't? You barely saw brown skinned women.
You sure didn't. You saw mixed women, and even in the Black rap videos.
They were either fair skinned or racially ambiguous women.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
That's true. Do you guys feel like with makeup and all that stuff, do you feel like it's changing, or was it? Because I've heard like with Rihanna coming out with her makeup brand or whatever, that it's more available, like certain skin tones or whatever. Inclusive. Yeah. Is that true? Yeah. Is that true or no?
I personally haven't like bought any products from her, but I have heard good things about Fenty. That's what it is, right, Rissa?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That she like her skin tone collection is like spot on where it goes from one spectrum to the other. It's really,
Yeah.
So do you guys
I
so
have
like
heard-
what I'm saying, like before, did you guys have issues with like picking that stuff out?
I
just
did.
recently. Oh yeah,
Me
well, Rissa,
too.
yeah. I remember in high school, she would talk about how she had to do a lot of this and that just to get certain skin tone matches.
Yeah.
With me, I've just recently started wearing makeup, so I I don't know. Right now, I've never experienced a problem like that, but I do. Yeah, I do remember. I remember Rissa having to go through a lot. I do remember
Mhm.
that. Yep.
What's
I
some
remember.
like Levi? Tell us some specifics that you've dealt with, like with where you feel like you've been affected by colorism.
Well,
Levi,
let's go
let's hear it.
down the line, shall we? Yeah. So a lot of it, like most of it, like high school and stuff like that. People think light skinned people are soft. Softer than brown skinned people for sure. When a lot of African American women, they attribute a soft man to a light skinned man, right? But a dark skinned man, they would attribute him to being hard, maybe a thug. Oh, he about it. You know what I mean? And
What's that? Say it again,
you say,
Tamara.
Tamara?
I said, you think that? Like that's what you think?
Oh
that?
yeah, that's been said. Don't even try it, okay? Don't try it, okay? Don't
But
don't try
light-skinned
to
men
act
have
for
been
these
wanted
people out
by
here,
black
okay?
women.
It's people right on this screen that think that way, okay? Don't even try it. All right.
But in my experience, women flock to y'all.
Yeah,
Y'all
light
was-
skin has
Y'all
always
were
been-
all the girls wanted back in the day.
I think more how I want to say this, like different races flock to us, right? But I think a lot of times when it comes to our own women, in my viewpoint, they rather go with someone who is more so like Terrence's complexion.
So when you
Who
hear
is
like
light-skinned.
when you hear like people
That's
say
interesting.
when you hear people say like colorism only affects darker skinned people, so you would say that's not the case. It affects
No, definitely not.
all
It
shades.
affects. I say it affects light skinned people more, to be honest.
Really,
I
do know.
feel
I've
like
heard-
no,
maybe
this is why.
light-skinned men more.
Yes, this is why I
Yeah.
say this. This is why I say this. Is because
I can see
how the media has portrayed light skinned people and what has happened to maybe darker skinned or like tones like Marissa's or whatever. It's made those complexions look at light skinned complexions and be like, oh, you think you all that, you think you this, you think you that. So I feel like we're more so like the target from our own, sector of people versus, the other skin tones. I mean, we can even go back to like slave days, right? Hey, oh, you would just be a house Negro inside the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
We would be outside on the field, in
Cotton
the
pickers.
field. Yeah. You know
they
what I mean?
call them cotton pickers. Yeah.
Exactly. So even goes back to that. Oh, you think you better than us, versus some of the other skin tones.
I get that. I understand that. Again, for me, I've never, because I guess because again, kind of brown skin, I can't say in my mind that I can remember anybody attributing anything to me negatively or even positively because of my skin tone. But I'm like right in the middle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually the two ends of the spectrum. And I can actually attest to that because I've had dark skinned girls tell me, oh, you think you cute because you almost white or you look white. And
Yeah.
I'm like, to be honest, I didn't even like being because if the Lord asked me what color I'd be, I'd definitely be brown skin. So, but I can attest to that. Like people think, like I know for a fact, and Tamara probably knows who I'm referring to, but I know for a fact that I was picked on by a certain person in high school strictly because I was light skinned and she was dark skinned.
Mm.
So
I can see why some people would take out their frustrations in life on people because they don't understand. People act that way because they don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ignorance causes people to act out in certain ways,
that's
and
true.
she don't even know you. She don't even know you
she
for real.
didn't know me.
You know what I'm
She
saying?
didn't.
Like, and I mean, of course, it was high school kids. A lot of times people don't know any better. I wouldn't expect that from somebody at our age now. but some people to be picking on you or bullying you, but some people still have their preconceived notions of how people would act. I know
Like
the
I
one
can
thing I will say.
understand. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was like, I can understand if I had like boys lined up at my locker, but boys weren't checking for me like that in high school. So I was like, where is she getting this from?
Yeah, right. It's because she didn't feel comfortable. That's what it was.
Yeah, but but then I'm like, boys are not talking to me now. Because we had that in school, Tam. Like there were girls, and one specific light skinned girl. To this day, I don't even know why they thought she was cute. And I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about now. Because I was like, are y'all seeing what I'm seeing? Even talking to my husband, like, because my husband went to the same school as me and Tamara, and me and Tamara, I was like, I don't understand why they think she's cute.
It's because she was like
I don't understand, but like, I didn't have. Now we had like the girls who had the light skinned girls who had boys flocking up and down, waiting to take her out or whatever. I didn't have any of that in that school. Men didn't really start checking for me until I hit Norfolk State. So
that is crazy. That is crazy. College opened up a lot of stuff for people, but
holy.
But so going back to something that Tamara was talking about the media opening up other things for people becoming, them using darker skinned people in certain commercials and stuff like that. How do you, when it goes further into that, when it goes further into people getting more understanding of other cultures and other nationalities, how do you feel about cultural appropriation? Do you feel that it's something good, something that's needed, or do you feel like certain things need to be left to certain cultures so that, or at least given credence or given respect to certain cultures? How do you feel about that?
You need to give credit, okay?
Yes.
You're out here in the commercials. Now I'm going to say this. I'm going to speak to a Christian perspective, okay? These contemporary churches, y'all love to have us singing a lead at your in your big sanctuary.
Ooh, talk about it.
But when it come down to you need to get out here and march, and you need to get out here and you need to support black people who's being killed by police and all this other stuff, all of a sudden your tune has changed, pastor. Okay, you like us playing on the drums, you love us playing on the keyboard, you can continue to support.
Correct.
I feel like people use us for the things that we can do, the talents that we have.
Right.
And to me, and we are innovators. A lot of the things that are made in this country were made by us. It wasn't made by Caucasian people, even though you think that it was. GPS in your car was made by an African-American, intelligent, beautiful woman. You know what I mean? But you would never hear about that. You know what I mean?
Sure
until February for 28 days, she might come up, during that month or whatever. Right. So, I think that more credit needs to be put out there.
Absolutely.
I think we need to update our history books to include a lot more African-American studies and things of that nature, starting at a very young age.
HBCU in mainstream education.
Correct. In regular public schools, no matter if you're in a demographic that it mainly caters to black people, or maybe you're in a demographic that mainly has more white people in it. Either way, those studies should be there.
What are some things that like we see and specific to our culture? Because I can't say, like, when I moved to New York, a lot of things that happened here, people were like dumbfounded that I didn't understand a lot of stuff. I'm from the country. It's black and white. There's not it's not a lot of other races where we're from. You know what I'm saying? I'm Suffolk, Virginia. It's either you black or you white. I mean, it's getting more integrated now, but when I was growing up in high school and all that stuff, it was black folks and white folks. It wasn't.
We were a melting pot in where we are. So
it wasn't like that for me. So like when I moved up here, a lot of stuff that people grew up knowing here in New York, I kind of was like, I was aloof to. I didn't have any understanding of it. So I feel like it's necessary to have some appropriation, or not just like to take it, but to have understanding of it. But do you guys feel like sometimes people take it like it's their own? Like a lot of times, for me, like especially like in the rap industry, I feel like a lot of rappers take it like they haven't, like it wasn't something that was brought up in the African American community. You know what I'm saying? Like like, what did you think about? How do you think about like with Eminem, Levi, or like
Nah,
with
there's certain people who I would say will get that pass. Eminem is one of those people. Like you will have old school hip hop people say like, nah, he's the best rapper they've ever heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a you could tell the difference, right? You could tell a person who has put in the work, perfected their craft, they are good. Versus a
Yeah,
Right.
person, okay, I
Like
saw
based
this
on
over
their
here.
talent.
Right. I
he's a
saw this over
lyrical
here.
genius.
Right,
Like
right, right.
point blank. He's
Correct.
a lyrical
He is.
genius. It's not a
Yes.
black and white. He's
just
that
great
good.
at what
Yeah.
he
He's
does.
great at
Right?
He's simply great at what he does.
Correct. There's a difference between that and okay, I seen this over here, and I'm just gonna mock that, and
Right.
and now
Like
I
Bubba
feel like-
Sparks. What about Bubba Sparks?
I don't remember his music.
Y'all
Bubba
don't know
Sparks. Let's not
Are you
even go there.
serious?
Bubba Sparks, Limp Bizkit. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man.
That's
it's
what I'm
just
saying.
it's just certain things.
Yes.
You could just
I
Yeah,
agree.
it's true. Like, so do you feel like getting certain things done with like, especially for the ladies, like a lot of the
Ooh.
collagen treatments that they do for their lips and hair
Ooh.
or colored, like we were talking about the tans and stuff. Do y'all feel like that's
Yeah.
appropriated from?
Yes,
Because I feel,
of course it is.
because I don't know.
Because-
Was Angelina Jolie naturally her lips were that big?
Yeah, I
naturally?
think those are her natural
Yeah.
lips.
Okay.
Her, yes, but yeah, any of that is appropriation because you want to take our characteristics. You want to have hips and butt, or you
Mhm.
want big lips. You want extensions and not call it weave or whatever it is, and
Right.
you all of a sudden when Becky does it, it's beautiful, it's trendy, it's this, it's that. But then when Keisha do it, it's ghetto. Like just for example, like when cornrows in the 90s, like that was something that people attributed it to thugs and stuff
Yep.
like that. But
Yeah.
but like a couple of years ago, I think Alyssa Milano like unveiled her cornrow style before the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden it was all the rave for them. And I'm like, and then or they called it, I forgot what they called it on Facebook, because they did like, you know how they do little how-to videos. And we were like, oh, so you mean cornrows? Like that's supposed to be trendy? We've been
Right.
doing this for years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I don't like. I do understand your point about it, so it can bring forth an understanding for different cultures. However, when it's all of a sudden trendy and nice and beautiful just because a different culture does, or a different ethnicity / race group does it, that's where I have the problem.
Yeah,
So
I
if you
kind of
don't
felt
wanna
that
be
way
like us,
about.
stop getting collagen injections. Stop doing all of that.
I kind of felt that way about twerking. Like, this is a Christian thing, but I mean, this is a Christian group, but I remember twerking used to be out like early 2000s, 2000, even 2005 or something like that. And then
Whistle while
Miley
you
Cyrus
twerk.
came out with it, and
What's
everyone's
the
like, "Oh my God, what is this? This is the greatest new thing, whatever." I'm like,
Now you see twerking in fitness classes.
Yeah.
really?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Led by Samantha. Yes.
It's crazy
Just
though.
say
It's
it.
like, remember that? What's that? Bob's Burgers. Y'all ever seen Bob's Burgers? What's the girl with the glasses that she does her little thing?
Yeah, I've never seen that.
I don't know what that is.
But I mean, do you feel like black people appropriated? They like when women started putting what's the stuff to straighten your hair out?
Like
relaxer.
Relaxer in your hair and stuff. Do you feel like black people are appropriated for corporate America? Do you feel like that is something that we did? Because
I don't.
Oh my God. Yeah.
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 because I don't feel like, because I look at, when you look at a lot of the old 70s movies and stuff like that, black people didn't their hair wasn't relaxed.
But do you think
No.
we did that for a different reason though? Do you think that we did that to try to get a leg ahead?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
That's what I'm
versus just
saying,
trying
like,
to do
and
something
not
that was
appeal.
trendy.
All that
I
stuff.
think
Right.
that's the difference though. You know, they're doing it to be trendy. We're
Right.
doing it to try to get a step ahead and not get as many no's when we go to an interview
Because you
and
have
things of that
to-
nature.
You got to
Cut-
look a certain way to get ahead. And
Correct.
That's just what it is.
And I think
You
that's
can't-
what
true.
I think
That's why the when jobs discriminating against certain hairstyles like locks was a huge thing. Or you know, there were certain female women that were told that they couldn't wear froze to work, and you know all of that. So yeah,
Men
like
too.
you-
Men too.
Yeah.
it's like you said, it wasn't. I don't feel like I don't. I was asking the question because I wanted to bring it up because I look at that. I look at a lot of stuff, and people say that we appropriate certain things, but a lot of stuff we do just to be able to to make it, or we have done in
To
the
not
past
make people feel uncomfortable with us.
to make it. I feel like now they are really opening up to say, okay, this is appropriate too. I mean, a lot of stuff was done really because black people had the hairstyles, they had this, they had that, and people of white people just didn't want to give black people jobs, so they were trying to do whatever they could to keep
Right.
black people from getting certain jobs. So um, now that those things are opening up, but they're not using the excuse of, oh, that's not workplace appropriate or whatever term that they use. Now that they're opening it up, you see a lot of jobs saying, okay, you can have dreads as long as you keep it nicely cut. You can have this. You can just don't come
Yeah,
looking
thank you.
sloppy.
Thank you, Rissa.
Locks, Terrence, locks.
They're locks, not dreads.
Yeah.
If you knew the meaning behind dreads, you wouldn't.
They're locks.
Yeah.
Oh,
say
locks. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Kill them in
But
the
yeah,
comments. Kill them in the comments.
I didn't know there was
Ravish
a, I
him.
didn't know
Yeah.
there was a difference. But anyway, see, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't be knowing. I don't be researching that stuff. But anyway, I mean, do y'all have any other instances or anything that y'all can think of with appropriation that has bothered you before or still bothers you to this day?
I just think more so like nowadays, I think a lot of Caucasian women, not that it's a bad thing, but I think a lot of them like really go after black men now more than their own men a lot of times. And you really start to see it because it's very, very popular in hip hop culture. There was a certain family that made it very popular, and then I feel like a lot of people then followed it after that. So
the Kardashians?
yeah.
Okay.
You just wanted to say that. Okay.
I wanted to make sure who you're talking about here. That's all.
Yeah, I'm sure. But but yeah, so I think that it's become a lot more popular, and I do see a lot of African American men falling victim to that.
But is it necessarily a bad thing, or is it just?
It's not that it's a bad thing, but they're doing it. I feel like a lot of Caucasian women are doing it intentionally to look more like a black woman to attract a black man. You know what I mean? Because let's be real.
They don't have to do that.
If What's Her Face didn't have like the big lip, she hardly even had a lip, right? To a black man, that's not something that's that's not. I'm sorry.
Oh, you mean Kylie?
Yeah.
Kylie?
Yeah. She, that's not something that's attractive to a black man. You know what I mean? Like black men, they tend to go after somebody who has some hips. You know what I mean? You have a nice set of lips, maybe you got the total package. A Caucasian man, from what I've, found from my Caucasian friends, they tend to go after somebody with a nice rack or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just a difference, between the two cultures. And now, now you're starting to see a blend of the two. If you got some church folks watching, hey, we just keeping it real, baby, and this is a real podcast, and I'm gonna keep it real. But
that's right.
We
say titties. Sorry.
So and that's what they're trying to attract, I feel like.
Yeah. Because even if you take it like back then, it wasn't until we hit like high school, so this was early 2000s, when it was considered beautiful to be thick or whatever. Like that was before then. Everybody wanted boobs. Like everybody was getting boob jobs in the 90s.
Right.
And nose jobs in the 90s because they didn't want them too big. And so now the trend and which is some women have taken it too far, but now they're getting fat redistribution procedures
and a whole bunch of
like they're doing any and everything they can to get a big booty now. So it's just weird and funny how things change.
It is. That's what exactly I was about to point out. Like, how did it take a turn? You know what I'm saying? Like, what makes something take a turn to be the thing to do, or what
nowadays it's the media.
Why does the media do that?
Exactly.
But why?
I would love to know why.
What is the underlining meaning of it? Why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
That's what I'm
Tim.
saying.
That's a very good point.
Very good point.
That baffles me. Like I think
Yeah.
about the stuff that is always coming at us off of the media. Like, why though? Why? What's the what's the point in the purpose?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like in
Even thinking
addition to Sir Mix-a-Lot song.
Yeah. Even thinking about what
Yeah.
Tim just said, you know, I think about the people who came before us and them getting joked. I mean, there's like, you know, cartoon pictures of us getting joked in magazines for what we look like. Her having a big, you know, a big booty back in the day or something like that would have been in the newspaper, joked on, you know, and all of a sudden,
absolutely.
you know,
Circle
the year is
it was,
2020 and now it's, you know, it's accepted. You know, we've been
That's
shamed.
what I'm saying.
We've been shamed
But
for
like
so long, you know.
That's true, but like I said, like even before, I mean, it's a lot of people who still feel that way. I mean,
Yeah.
No, that's true.
We've seen what did the lady in West Virginia say about First Lady Michelle Obama when that one day when she got so upset and she called her a gorilla online or something like that.
People
Yeah.
to this
And I
day
mean-
still say she looked like a man. I mean,
and
Yeah.
I'm saying like, and I'm like certain stuff that comes out of people's mouth, you know, I feel like that's the older generation, and because a lot of them are becoming phased out, even though some of them still are getting to their younger generations. Because we see that with what happened with the Capitol riots, or we see that with what just happened, like not just happened, what happened in Charlottesville a couple years back, and all that stuff. Charlottesville, Virginia, when they were marching, and you know what I'm saying. So we see all that stuff happening. So we see that kids, you know, there are some kids, but slowly but surely they're being phased out. I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like their mindsets are changing, but I think with the appropriation part, it just has to be made clear that certain things were or are brought to this country or even to the world because of Black people. You have to give people their credence, just like you would give Shakespeare his credence, or you would give Mozart his credence. You know, you don't hear big names about Black people who did great things or made great inventions. You know, you don't hear that coming from white people in everyday life. You know what I'm saying?
Sure
Like,
don't.
you don't hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like when people think about great theater and great stuff, when it comes to plays and stuff like that, Shakespeare, great music, great classical music, Mozart and Beethoven and people like that. But when you think about other aspects of life that have come and brought great things to whoever talks about not Napoleon, what's the great, well, people do talk about this sometimes, but like when you hear about really great military leaders, or you hear about really great people, even now here in this country, who've made like the traffic light, or it's a lot of different inventions that have come to this country. And honestly, some people that live here who are able to get or use these things don't even know who brought them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the craziest thing to me.
Yeah, or like how
open heart surgery and all that stuff. I mean,
yes, I was just about to say that. Or even Betty Boop. The whole image behind Betty Boop, and you know, Caucasian women used to love them some Betty Boop back in the day. Betty Boop was inspired by a Black woman.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like you never hear these things though.
No, you
don't. And Henrietta Lacks, she's a Black woman, and her cells are the reason why medicine has advanced as far as it has. But do you think that her family got credence for that? No. And this woman died at 31 years old from ovarian cancer, at 31 with 5 children. You think her family got paid for that? No.
And so, and just in case people don't know, what happened with Henrietta Lacks? What was so great about her stuff?
So she was a Black woman she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and unfortunately she did die very early from it. But her cells were the only cells that could live and reproduce without having a host. And they reproduced long after she had passed. And so every time they make a vaccine, every time they do a medicine, yes, without her permission.
And
without her family permission.
Yes, they took it without her consent or knowledge. And they also they underhandedly tested her children to see if her children had the same ability that she did, and they did not. So yes, and they were never paid ever for her contribution. And and Henrietta Lacks her contribution still is happening today. Yeah, they tested out the COVID vaccine, Henrietta HeLa cells, and then they tried to lie about who it came from and gave her some name like Helen Lane or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but they tried to say that it was from a white woman that died until it was unveiled that it was actually her. That woman has made serious.
What is Logan doing? I'm sorry.
Hi, buddy.
Do you see him?
He's like, let me.
Something
see.
is wrong with this boy. I'm telling you.
Don't talk about him like that. Cute self.
What's up, Logan?
But that,
So, yeah,
that
guys,
that's crazy.
I'll talk ahead, Tamara.
Nothing. I was just saying it's crazy because it happens all the time, and we won't know about it until hundreds of years later. But it happens all the time. It's probably happening now.
So yeah, it's really unfortunate, you know. A lot of stuff. Well, that's a different topic. We won't go down there, bro, because it'll have. I do want to. Go ahead.
I do want to say, like, I know we're closing it down now, but you know, if you happen to be Caucasian and you are watching this, it's not the fact that we don't like Caucasian people or
correct.
You know, we have a problem with Caucasian people. We do not, you know, but there needs to be knowledge and an understanding of what has happened in this country, because if we continue to shun it and forget it, then you won't have a real understanding of why your African-American brother or sister feels the way they do, or is going through the thing that they do. And to those Caucasian people out there now, you know, it's a lot more understanding. And we just want to say, we applaud you. We thank you for standing with us. You guys are amazing. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's a big turning point with a lot of Caucasian people, especially even they may be growing up in a family that may not be as accepting of African Americans of that nature, but they're taking a stand to decide to think on their own and make a decision on their own instead of going off of whatever
they were taught.
Yeah. So we just want to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Because we as Christians, we know how hard it is to stand for something when other people around you don't believe the same thing.
Correct.
So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and end it. We appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and hit that like button, the share button, and subscribe if you're watching. If you're liking what we're talking about, we appreciate you guys being here. We want to say happy Black History Month again. And, thank you for watching, guys. Catch us next time on the Roundup. Take care, guys.
Peace, guys. Catch you later.
Bye.
Have a good week.